good afternoon, Mr. Mao Sreng.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And our team is very glad to meet you in Siem Reap. And maybe today is a study fair which is organized by ACE in Cambodia or something like that. But my question and my interview with you today, my discussion with you today is that I just want to know the journey of ACE Cambodia. If I'm not wrong, ACE has embarked in Cambodia for almost 30 years already. So my first question is that how many students have studied or maybe have graduated from ACE Cambodia for almost or maybe more than 30 years in Cambodia? Please, sir.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for being here with us together in the lovely town of Siem Reap. And thank you for the question reflecting on our operation. As you said, we've been here for the last 32 years, since 1992. I think initially we came to support the United Nations peacekeeping forces called UNTAC. And we found that the demand for English language is very strong in Cambodia, and we stayed since then, so for 32 years now. At the moment, I think we have around 100,000 enrollment a year. That's probably one of the world's largest English language schools. And we have 6 campuses, 5 in Phnom Penh and 1 here in Siem Reap. I think the journey so far has been wonderful. We continue to support Cambodians and also other international students who are residing in Cambodia to acquire language, English language, and obviously to allow them to actually serve as a means for further education here in Cambodia, but also internationally. And as you know, the role of English language has become more and more important.
So why just a language and it become more and more important, you know, just a language, just a tool of communication, just a tool of communication only, you know, why you said language is a very crucial. What does it mean, you know?
Language is far more, I think, than just a language. Language is a means for various other purposes, including communication for business, a means for research and education, a means to obviously reflect ourselves, demonstrating the culture, and also to use to try to understand the differences, the way of life on a daily basis, and in addition to being able to survive in a foreign country. So language is actually pretty core to all aspects of life, and I think it's paves the way for further opportunity internationally. And English has obviously the role to play strongly, especially in the context of the ASEAN region as the official language of the ASEAN countries. In addition to obviously it's being used widely around the world. So yes.
But if, for example, if you know only the language, you know how to speak, only how to communicate, but if you don't have skill, so how can you speak, or maybe what you speak your mind, you know, if you don't have skill? And now we always talk about skill, you know, if you are skillful, you have many skill, I think maybe you have more opportunity, not only language. So,
and you are absolutely right in this regard. Language is slightly different compared to if we were to acquire technical skills, but language serves as a means. I just try to elaborate that if we were to acquire a particular skill in a slightly different context or from a different country, language serves as the means to do that. And some people get themselves a little bit confused in terms of their ability to communicate in English and the technical skill that you mentioned, right? Some people are not so good in English language proficiency. Some people are very good technically. But the two combined is fantastic, obviously, because it serves as an extension to how people can improve their technical skills at the global level.
So until now, if I'm not wrong, just now you mentioned earlier that maybe now there are 100,000 students who have enrolled each year at ACE in Cambodia.
That's correct.
So it's a big number. I can't believe it. Why so? Why many Cambodian, more and more Cambodian people just go and enroll at the ACE. So I mean English is still a big demand in the Cambodian market or what?
That's correct, sir. So as we understand, a lot of Cambodians obviously aspire to acquire foreign languages, and English is probably one of the main languages that people believe that will help them in the future in terms of, we just discussed, acquiring further education and skills, but also as a means to get a good job, means to obviously allow you to travel in a way that is actually very enriching. So that's reflect in the enrollment that we have at ACE, and yes, that's correct. 100,000 enrollment a year is a big number. It's actually probably one of the biggest English language schools in the world. And I think that's come back.
Can you tell me, for example, just interrupt you a little bit, if I count until, I mean from the beginning until now, how many students are there, for example, just a roughly number?
So over the past 32 years, roughly around 1 million people have studied at our school at ACE.
1 million?
At ACE in Cambodia, around 1 million people.
For almost, for 30 years?
For the past 32 years, that's correct, since 1992. And not just Cambodians, but also those of other nationalities. My calculation would be roughly around 30 different nationalities have studied at our school in Cambodia.
So they are all now here in Cambodia, or maybe they left Cambodia and then they work differently?
They're probably everywhere around the world now, right? The English language proficiency at the level that allowed them to travel for education, business and work make it possible that they're probably very much globally mobile. So I can say they're probably in every part of the world now, in addition to being here in Cambodia and helping with the development of the country.
It's a bit out of the context where I discussed with you, but a few days ago I met a friend ambassador here in Siem Reap also, and I interviewed him and then asking him about the French language or something like I'm talking with him, talking with you here. He told me that students who have educated in the French language, they went to study in France or maybe in Cambodia, and now in the government 40% of Cambodian leader are francophone, I mean French speaking or something. So my question to you, so many students have studied English language with ACE, I mean ACE in Cambodia. So if I want to know, there are leaders who used to study at ACE, I mean the current government here.
We've seen so many of our students, alumni from the Australian Centre for Education or ACE now in various leading positions, both in the government and in the private sector. And many of those are also well, not just bilingual, but probably trilingual at least, speaking Khmer, speaking French, speaking English. So those who are able to communicate in a particular foreign language tend to like to acquire more languages, and that's a good thing, right? And we see the momentum of this happening a lot in Cambodia. So yes, I think many of those who have graduated from our school, ACE, are now in
the
leading roles in the government, in the private sector, and in various other sectors and industry. Not limited to Cambodia, but also around the world.
Around the world. So, talking about the foreign language, especially, for example, specifically English language, and many Cambodian people learn English as as a tool of communication and as a tool for their job in the future, but also the lifestyle. For example, if your family or maybe people do not speak, they don't feel good now, I mean at the top level. Do you agree with that concept or maybe not?
I think the ability to speak in a foreign language or communicate in foreign is a clear advantage. So some people obviously leverage of their ability in a foreign language to obviously acquire certain business opportunity or education opportunity. And compared to those who do not have foreign language ability, either French, English, Chinese, for example, might be missing out on some of those international opportunities. So it is absolutely true that people who have foreign language ability tend to be able to leverage of international opportunity through the language.
Yeah, and so, but now there is a concern as well, you know, for example, because more and more Cambodian people or Cambodian family tend to study English or French or Chinese or something like that. But then people just, you know, they don't focus much on Khmer language. So now the big concern is between foreign language and Khmer language. So you as as a head of AC in Cambodia, so you recommend people not to study Khmer and focus on English, or just for your business? Or, sorry to say that.
Thank you for asking the question. I think there have been some concerns, obviously, and partly because of the momentum of foreign language, especially English, that young kids now tend to communicate more in English compared to previously, and the concern is pretty valid, obviously. So my take to it, actually, the national language is very, very important, extremely important, and Cambodians should be able to be able to communicate in Khmer, the mother language, fluently in spoken and written form before embarking on a foreign language. The foreign language such as English is important, but the national identity is very important, extremely important, that the kids these days are able to communicate with their parents who might not be very proficient in English, or their grandparents at home who might not be able to communicate in English. So the ability to obviously communicate in the native language, in Khmer in this case, is extremely important, and I would encourage students to obviously pay attention to this momentum, not losing the identity because of the language. So that's probably answered your question. So
what a big dilemma, you know, also the big challenge, because kids always start English school first, and then, you know, they don't want to go back to Khmer school. This is a big challenge.
That's
so
correct.
You know, a very dilemma.
So as educators, we obviously need to have a strategy and approach to maintain the balance. And that's probably the reason why now raising awareness of educators, saying, well, look, the native language is more or less a must language to learn, and second language or third language could kick in later. And I think that led to the comment made, I think, by our Prime Minister some time ago, that Cambodian students will need to have the means to acquire Khmer language to be able to obviously maintain the understanding of the culture, the identity, and it's very important in the long run that we need to get that strategy right.
Okay, let me move on what you are doing here now today. And so study fair here for Australia or maybe New Zealand. So what does it mean, study fair? You know, you encourage students here in Siem Reap to enroll more and more at the ACE school here, or how, or what?
Every year we organize events such as this one. We call the Study in Australia and New Zealand Fair, but not limited to just Australia and New Zealand, but also in the US, the UK, Canada, and Ireland, to obviously expose opportunity available internationally, including scholarship to Cambodian students who might be thinking of expanding their knowledge base beyond Cambodia in an international context. So the program today brought together around 58 schools and universities from Australia and New Zealand to be able to sit down with students and parents directly to discuss study options, enrollment requirements, and also various necessity that allow students to be able to succeed should they want to go to study overseas, in particular in Australia and New Zealand for today. And also it's an opportunity to obviously reinforce the message that we do have a school here, ACE, just in case students wanting to find opportunity to improve their English. We do have a good school facility available in the town of Siem Reap. Okay, thank you. And the last question for you is that until now, and I have seen maybe the post on your Facebook or maybe on ACE Facebook,
I have observed that you have many awards from, I don't know from which organization, international organization. So until now, how many awards that you have gotten, for example?
Thank you. And you are being very observant, obviously. But that's correct. Yeah, we've been receiving quite a number of awards internationally. And I think a few awards I would like to highlight is including the status of being one of the best English language schools in the world that awarded to us in 2021 in London. So it's a testament of our quality here, world-class English language teaching quality here made available in Cambodia. A year later in 2022, we were awarded for our best digital innovation in supporting students, maximizing their learning outcome. We won several other awards for our work in CSR, the social work that we do, including supporting kids in the rural area, having access to education, having access to clean toilets, and also our ability to raise some money, I think, to support good causes such as the environment and children hospitals. So there are several awards, but I think these are the important ones. Ones that are related to quality, and one related to how we want to give back to the society.
Another question that is, which is also the last one, but the last one again. So, okay, before or until now, ACE has been the, I can say, the excellent one English school in Cambodia. But now there are more and more English schools, which maybe we compete against your school in the future. So it could be a straight to your school also, maybe. Or maybe the complementary.
The fact that there's going to be more quality English language schools getting themselves established is actually a good thing. I think the demand for English language is still very big, that we can't cater to all those demands alone ourselves. So we only operate in Phnom Penh and Siem Reap at the moment, so we haven't been able to expand access our delivery to other provinces. So it's actually a good thing that other schools and providers come to the market and fill the gaps. Also, it's actually a good thing. So that will continue to boost the quality of English language teaching in Cambodia overall, and competition is good. But we don't really look at that way as a competition, and as you said, it's complementary to one another. And for that reason, we've been hosting the CamTESOL conference. CamTESOL conference is a conference that brings together English language teachers from Cambodia and around the world. This year, it's number 20 in terms of the annual conference that we organized. And we had around 1,700 people coming from 40 countries. And this is one of the initiatives that AC organized to share the experience, the expertise to all schools in Cambodia and from around the world. So helping each other out to get better. Right?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mao Sreng, the head of ACE in Cambodia. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.